Taurus, hi. So this is going to be a reading for June 1st through the 7th. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Taurus. What do we got? For you, we've got the overall energy for the reading, the Knight of Cups. We've got you quite open here. You know, not over the top, but not closed off. So that's good. In the recent past, the Four of Cups, the High Priestess, the Eight of Pentacles. Man, you poured your hopes into something here. Not sure what it was. Potentially tied up to your stability, to work. And then something happened that upset you, to say the least. But you were in it. You were in there with your hopes high in this situation. In the current situation, the Ace of Swords, the Empress, the Chariot, you're potentially coming up with ideas, with, I don't know, there's something creative coming to the surface for you here. Like something that feels super aligned with you and super, maybe it's a new idea or something. I don't know. But it feels good. Whatever this is feels good. In the immediate future, the King of Swords, the Death card, the Ace of Pentacles. Kind of closing something off. But with that King of Swords, you're almost giving me the sensation of I don't have a choice but to close this off and start over, start fresh or something like that. Like you're giving me that kind of a vibe to this one. But let's clarify. Let's see what's up. Let me do the Knight of Cups. For the Knight of Cups, you get the Six of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Page of Swords. There's a soul connection around you that could go from, I don't know, a friendship to someone you're working with but get along quite well. But there's a little bit of heaviness there. There's a little bit of it's hard to connect at this point or something like that. Like normally this is nice. This is a nice soul connection. But right now at this moment in time, there's something a little difficult tied up to it. Maybe you're going through something in this dynamic. I don't know. Maybe they're going through something and you're like, okay, you know, I don't know. But it's still there. You're still there with it. It's just you're showing me a little heaviness tied up to it. I think it's somebody close, though. For the Four of Cups in the recent past, you get the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, whatever this thing was, this energy back there, whether it was a person or a situation, whatever it was, it just made sense. You know, you're coming at it from a place of me and this other energy, we match. We make sense together, you know? And then something happened that upset you. Something happened that upset you. Let me do the High Priestess, the King of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Swords. Yeah, because you felt everything's good here. We're on the same page. Yeah. Birds of a feather flock together, me and this other energy. Like, that's how it felt for you. You know? So then what the fuck happened? For the Eight of Pentacles, in the recent past, you get the Knight of Pentacles, the Moon, the Four of Swords. Things slowed down a little bit there. I think something happened that upset you. And then things started slowing down, slowly but surely. And then, I'm not sure, maybe you needed some time to think about things. Maybe, I don't know, there's a little bit of slowing down and then a sudden break. But I don't see it coming necessarily. I see the break around the corner. So as you slow down in this, whatever this is, there's a break to it, a sudden stop to it, but it's just around the corner where you haven't reached it yet, not at least not at that point. But it was coming. It was just around the corner. So it was unavoidable for this break to show up at some point. So I think it did by the time we get here in the current situation. Let's do the Ace of Swords in the current situation, the Chariot, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles. You're going back. Wait, is this it? Because you're giving me, with your energy, you're showing up as moving forward. But then I see deception right away, and then I see you coming back. So I'm like, so you're not moving forward. You're trying to go back. But for you, that's moving forward. I don't understand. What the fuck is going on here? So why are you going back if you're going forward? Well, I gotta go back to that. No, that doesn't make sense. Because your energy is moving forward. Yeah, but I'm going back. Okay, I get it. I see that. But, like, it doesn't make sense. Okay, let me do the Empress. In the current situation, you get the King of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Queen of Wands. What the hell happened there? Because it broke you. You're broken a little bit. Especially over the practical side, the material, the stability part. Something in there is kind of broken, in pain. So is this you going back for vengeance? Is it, what is this? I don't understand why the back part, going back part, when you're moving forward. So from an energetic perspective, your higher self is taking you forward. From a physical perspective, from you being Taurus, you keep on reverting back, you go back. It's like you can't let something go, something that hurt you, something that's what keeps you going back. And it's like, it's okay it's not okay that you're hurting, but like, it's okay that the pain is there, because it's there for you to heal, not for you to hang on to it so that it drags you back in the past and you get stuck there. You know what I mean? It's not there for that reason. Let me do the Chariot. The Lovers, the Eight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. Okay. I get that part. You're like, you don't understand. That meant everything to me. Okay? Okay. But like, I don't know what happened. See, that's the thing. Because I'm not seeing a crash or like, oh my God, the end of the world just happened there for Taurus. I'm not seeing that. Yeah, I'm seeing a sudden break to it all, a sudden stop for whatever that was, based off of who knows what the hell happened. But like, and I get that that was important, okay. But everything, I don't think it was. And I just heard you say, don't you tell me how I feel. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna be honest. From an energetic perspective, no, it wasn't. You've had other everythings before that were more, you know. But like, if you put it that way, then that would create everything out of that, and then you can easily say, I lost everything, right? So that would justify why you would feel like crap. And you should feel like crap, because whatever that was, not nice, whatever the hell happened there, because I see it bring in pain. So, but, you know, we can spin around words all you want. The reality of it all is that I think this is your process of healing over that. So the going back part, it could be justified by, this is just your lack of acceptance that that situation came to a sudden stop. You know? Where you're having a hard time accepting that. And from that pain comes anger, frustration, and so on and so forth. And even at times, fixation over whatever the hell happened there. And that's not going to help you move forward because your energy wants to move you forward and you're not allowing it. You're like, nope, I'm not done here. And you're not. And you're not going to be. It's a process, and it's a process of healing. And even going back, the going back part is part of that process. So that's somewhat normal as long as you don't get stuck in there. You know? So let me do the King of Swords in the immediate future. The Eight of Cups, the Sun, the Four of Wands. Okay. This is you trying to rationalize all of it. Like, so what am I supposed to do? Stop caring for the situation altogether? Like, just shut down my emotions in that direction? No. If you try to rationalize this, you're not gonna... Sometimes it works, or you think it works. Keyword being think. Because your mind tells you to shut something down and you believe that you shut it down. Meanwhile, it's still in your heart. You just put up a wall in there that you're not gonna cross, you know? But the pain, the love, the whatever was tied up to the situation is still there. You're just kind of compartmentalizing. You're just kind of putting it to the side in a little box where you shut it with the key and you put your key in the pocket and forget it there, you know? But that doesn't mean, that's energy that hasn't been healed, hasn't been nothing. It's just been locked in a box away from your feelings so that you don't feel shit about it. So that's not necessarily healing. But if you want to go about it that way, if you think that's easier to deal with it in that way, it may be, but just so you know, it's a temporary solution. That energy is still there. That pain of it is still there. It's still gonna somehow reflect throughout your life in other experiences, you know, if you don't heal it. So for the Death card in the immediate future, you get the Two of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Hangman. And then I see the other alternative in which, okay, so what you're telling me is to just sit there with all of the emotions, all of the pain, all of the frustration, all of the anger, all of the, hey, I have to accept that things played out in this way, and all of that, just sit there with all of that? Yes. You're like, how? I'm going to run away from all of that. And I get that part too. We're made that way. We don't want to deal with shit that's uncomfortable. What the fuck? What's wrong with me? I wouldn't sit in something that's painful. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, then you choose the other, you know, way of the other solution. And that's not beneficial. That's just, think of it as, you know, you need surgery and you end up putting a Band-Aid on the wound that needs surgery. Do you think that's going to heal it? You kind of need that surgery. And in this case, surgery means, yeah, you sit through all of that. Because if you don't, it's just going to get bigger and worse. And it's not going anywhere. It's just going to be always there in the background, nagging at you. That pain, that energy, that, you know. But if you sit through it, it's going to transmute. It's going to go away. At some point, it's going to go. It's not going to, unless you hang on to that pain while it's passing through. And it's like, oh my God, I choose to spend all my life in this pain, which most of us don't do, you know, because again, it's uncomfortable. But at the same time, if we just allow for those energies to pass us or pass through us, we're good to go. That's the healing part of it, you know. So you're better off doing that rather than, you know, shutting it down in a little box somewhere where you think you don't have to deal with it. For the Ace of Pentacles in the immediate future, you get the Queen of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Cups. And then that opens up a brand new chapter for you in which you get to create your reality in whichever way you want out of there. But you need to start as fresh as possible there. You know, not with baggage, like little boxes that you accumulate from all sorts of other experiences. You throw them in the suitcase and then you got the baggage with you, you know? So it allows you, so the healing time for whatever the hell happened there is definitely coming. Now it's a matter of how do you choose to deal with that, you know? How do you choose to go through that healing? How do you choose to address that situation? And then once you address it one way or another, there's another chapter that is right there waiting to open up for you. And it does seem, lighter, better. It's new. It's filled with the unknown. You don't even know how it's going to look, how it's going to feel. But at the same time, you feel good about it because it's something else. So it's brand new. You get to make it whatever you want moving forward. So let's see what the universe has as a final advice for you. The Star, the Three of Pentacles, the Hierophant. You still want for that to work out. You're still there with that intention of, but I still want for that to work out. Okay. You can very much have that desire and that, intention. At the same time, you got to take into consideration what's really happening within that situation. Your intention and your desire is one thing, the reality of thing could be another. They can play out at opposite ends, and usually they are. So you can hold on to that intention, but at the same time recognize that maybe there's a different reality you need to deal with for now. And put that to the side, your intention towards this, and then once you deal with the reality, it could be that even your intention changes along the way. Maybe at the end of it all, after your process, you're going to realize, I don't even want this anymore. Who the hell knows? But you need to deal with reality as is, not as your intention wants it to be, because then we're going into different issues of control and expectation, and that's for another story, another time. But anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.